Hey, what's going on, guys? Tony here, CCxRC, and on the bench is something that you guys have been asking me about since last year. When is the Atomik RC Barbwire XL going to release a 2 version? We know that last year they released the Barbwire 2. This is the standard length, or the smaller length. It is 17 inches long, whereas the XL is 24 inches long. So it's a little bit bigger boat. It's going to handle a little bit better in more chop and things like that. So let's go ahead, and now that it's finally out, let's get it out of this package and show you guys what you get in the box. All right. Alrighty, so here is the Barbwire XL2 24-inch boat, and it is a prop-driven boat. As you can see, it comes with everything you need, fully ready to run. Batteries for the controller, battery for the boat, charger. You're good to go. Even has marine grease in here. So let's go ahead and take a look through the different things that it comes with. First of all, what you get is a balanced lead Atomik RC charger, a 2 to 4 cell charger, where you can just plug in the lead here, and it comes with a 3 cell, and so you'd plug it into the only one that it would fit into here. And when you're plugged in, you then hit start stop to begin the charge process. Very simple. Awesome that it is included with a charger for it. So it's a 75C 2200 milliamp hour Venom battery, and again, it is a 3 cell. It comes with some hull tape here that you use to tape up the hull after you put the battery in and get it ready to run. You tape that up to keep water and moisture out. So move some of this stuff out as we talk about it. So battery here, it is an XT60 connector. Batteries go into the bottom of the controller, which is here. Comfortable controller with a foam grip on it. Here you've got your on-off switch. Then you've got your steering travel angle left and your steering travel angle right. Then you've got trims for your steering here that just click in, and as well as throttle trims. So that's how you'd set those if it's not properly set out of the box. So that is pretty straightforward. Tape. In here you get some zip ties, you get an extra prop, some foam pieces in here, and a couple of little wrenches, and the marine grease that's used to lube up the drive shaft area in here. Instruction manual, really great, short, nice and to the point. That's what I like about it. A couple of cautions in the front end. At the back, it's got a part list for things that you'd want to get for it, as far as troubleshooting as well. And then in here, it talks about care and maintenance, and using that marine grease in there. The self-righting feature, so if you do capsize the boat and it is in the water upside down, you just wait, let the throttle off completely till the prop stops, then gun it full power, and it will self-right itself, and you'll allow you to keep going, keep you from having to do some swimming. What else? One of the things is it is not meant for saltwater, so it is a freshwater boat. And that's one of the warnings that they give in there. And then what you see right on here, irreversible damage can occur. This model is equipped with low voltage cutoff. So when the battery gets low, the LVC will significantly reduce the power of the motor of this boat, and we should immediately bring it to shore at that point. Continuing to operate past this point could cause permanent damage to the battery. So it'll take it possibly below the voltage that you should take the battery. So that's what you need to be aware of. All right, guys, some of the other stuff is all out of the way, almost. We'll get to the fun part. But first, these little pads that I saw in there, I found out what they were for when I put the boat on the stand. I noticed that there were these little spots here that looked like the perfect spot to put these little rubber stoppers, and it'll just kind of keep the boat in place from sliding all over the stand. I was wondering why a lot of them have that like V-cut design and this didn't. Well, that's why. That keeps it nice and in place. All right, so now onto the boat, which is what you guys all want to see anyway. First, let's take a look at the design, because I think it looks really sharp. I love the yellow, black, and silver light gray kind of color that they used and the stylings on the boat, the fonts, XL2, graphics wise, you know, with the streaks like speed going down, the what would be kind of like a caution tape design. Really, really cool, kind of barbed wire sharp. Like the font, everything on it. I dig the way that they've done this. So Atomik is written here, but it's too big to actually fit, which is kind of a cool look as well. Powered by Venom, you see at the bottom. Make sure we mention that. So we can see there's a big hole at the back. That's for a self-righting aid that we'll show in a minute. Lets water go in when you're kind of, you know, upside down and stuck in the water. Water will start to fill that. There's a cavity in here that fills, so as you're self-righting, it'll help it flip over, and then the water will come shooting back out as you take off. That's kind of the idea, I think. But there's also kind of, I think there's a hose that's probably going to run maybe to this. I don't know if there's, I doubt there's an extra pump in there, so I don't know why, other than having another opening to allow water to, you know, go in, kind of like a canister when you want water to come in and out. If you have another hole, like an air hole, it'll allow it to happen faster. So I don't know, maybe that's what's going on there. I'm just kind of guessing. Plastic prop here, little rubber guide here, keep water out of the hole as much as possible and still allow that servo to drive that rear rudder. There are not the two guides on like the smaller one has on the back to help kind of keep it stable, probably because it's bigger in size and doesn't need it as much. So let's take a look inside here in the hull of the boat. Right away we see in the back here we've got our receiver, and that is an FHSS 2.4 gigahertz. Part number is 18092. 4-channel. It's got a little bind button here. You click in. When you turn it on, you should be able to rebind that way. One of the things we'll note is the hose coming from here. This is water cooled, so it takes the water in, runs it across the ESC first, then it tracks its way up and around, and then it goes through the motor here to cool, and then it pumps it out the side of the boat there. There's that other one I was talking about, which then has a clear hose that goes into this whole area. And so, again, I'm not sure exactly how that all functions and what that does, but somebody that knows more can leave a comment below. So it is an Outrunner brushless motor. I'll make mention of that right away. Outrunner meaning that the outside of the can moves and spins versus having the hard can and all the stuff internally spinning. I don't know why they do it this way. I don't know the benefits of one or the other. I know that this mass moving is probably good for it. So it doesn't list anywhere on the box what the specs are on this motor. So that's something we're gonna have to find out. We'll put in the description below when we do find out. We'll also be pinning comments at the top and editing that with, you know, any new information I find out later on down the road about this that isn't obvious at the front end. Here we do have our servo, and that's gonna, you know, of course, run the rudder here in the back, moving back and forth. That's wired up to the receiver, and as well as the ESC is wired up to it, and it has a battery that goes to the ESC. That's an XT60 connector, and then Velcro will hold it here to the sides and then strap around it. But the battery does have a piece of Velcro on the bottom as well, so you can just stick that right on there and then run the Velcro straps around it like so. So 30 amp ESC, and it's waterproof, which makes a lot of sense. And so I'm guessing most of the parts in this are waterproof in case you do get some water in. But what they do advise is a couple things. They say that you can take this out if you're not going to be running for a while. They say to remove this rubber piece to keep it, I guess, flexible. But they sell replacements for this if it does. But you also, when you do close this up, that they do tell you to run this tape around it to keep water out as well. So that's a basic look. You can see the drive shaft here, flexible drive shaft. It's like a spring here that allows it to kind of bend and work its way through there. That's something that you do want to take off and put some marine grease on in here every once in a while, as well as they say to oil a spot in here. And so you'll have to look in the directions for that specifically. They do say that this boat is for fresh water. It's not meant to be taken into salt water. So I've had my other ones in brackish water, which isn't recommended. And so that's part salt, part fresh water. What I do afterwards is I really rinse them down with fresh water afterwards to try and get any salt that might have been in there off the components inside. Then I put them in front of a fan. So again, I wouldn't even recommend doing brackish water. We just don't have a lot of options here to run stuff in. So the bigger waters that we do have, a lot of them are brackish around here. And that's just what I've got to deal with. And knowing that and knowing what it can do to these parts and what replacements I will be having to do as a result. You know, go into it knowing what the consequences are, and it's your own fault. You know the risk, but you also get some of the reward of, you know, the fun that you can have on those waters. I do not take it in the ocean or anything that salty. I don't like any of my RCs running at the beach or anything like that, where I run the chance of you know, corroding stuff with the salt water. But that all said, there's definitely some care and maintenance that you want to take with this thing after running. I do bring it in. I dump all the extra water out after I've rinsed it with fresh water, and then I do that regardless if I was in a lake or whatever. I just bring it and tap water it. Just to get any, you know, whatever is in the water in the lakes. I don't know, but I just run it under my tap water, hose it off, and then I, you know, dump out anything that gets in the hole, and then I also put it in front of a big fan that's on the ground pointing down at it and try and dry it all out nice and good after the run, and then set my batteries to storage mode. With this charger, they say, you know, you run it down, and then they say to run it half an hour to get it to half charge, and so that's where they say you can leave it with this particular one. I use a more advanced charger, and it lets me set it right to the 3.8 volts that I want to store it at. But that said, anyway guys, that's a quick look at this awesome Atomik Barbwire XL2. Can't wait to get it in the water. The smaller barbed wire is a blast. I think that this bigger frame on this, or bigger hole, is going to be even more fun, especially on some of the choppier water we get around here. To be honest, the barbed wire 2, the non-XL, is a lot of fun. But it's crazy too. It's more speed than you really would want for scale for it, and so it can get out of control fast, and you can be submarining it, which is part of the fun of it, I guess, honestly. But too choppy water, and it struggles more than this would, and so I'm looking forward to getting this in the water. And both will have their places where there'll be a lot of fun. Anyway, guys, let me know in the comments below, do you like RC boating? Is it something you've done before? Do you have questions about this boat? Leave them in the comments. We'll be posting run videos of this thing very soon for you guys, as soon as we can get it out to the water and get some footage. But that's a quick look again, guys. Thanks for tuning in. As always, let us know if you liked the video by giving it a thumbs up, and we'll have more for you. So as always, guys, have fun RCing. We'll catch you next time.